Hey folks, how you doing? Hopefully you're having a good day today. So today we got some big news from the CES 2025 in Viva Las Vegas because Johnny D is back. Open season on the gaming community because he could come out with anything he wanted, and he thought that the best product would be Street Fighter for the 5th time. Very interesting. Not 720, which I wanted, or Dragon's Lair with Space Ace and Cliffhanger, or Crossbow. Again, that's what I wanted though. But another rehash of Street Fighter, but we're getting an XXL. So it's actually a little bigger than the Arcade1up XL, and you get to pay $700, so the price is bigger, but we get that 19-inch screen. We're getting a Raspberry Pi 5. But again, is it worth it to pay more money to get something you might already have? But we are getting the alpha games. We're going to get the Street Fighter alphas. And again, two choices in cabinets, Street Fighter 2 and Street Fighter Alpha. The Raspberry Pi 5, USB port in the front, 19-inch screen, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to go in all the details and actually compare it to the Arcade1up Deluxe Street Fighter 2, and you can decide if it's worth $300 more, because I always thought that we kind of wanted the prices to come down a little bit because we thought Arcade1up was charging way too much. So now what happens? Now we go a little higher than Arcade1up. So stay tuned. We're going to check out the details and all the pictures and the specs on the iconic Street Fighter 2 Electric Boogaloo. Okay, folks, so let's check out the iconic arcade gaming website, which has all the information on here. And we noticed that they did change the logo recently, which looks pretty cool. Iconic Arcade with the yellow and the pink. Select your region. So currently, it's only available in USA, but I'm sure it'll be Canada and elsewhere soon. That's what Johnny D said in the interview earlier today. So it is impressive. We got the two cabinets. We got a lot of Street Fighter games. Not 5 different cabinets. We got the 19-inch Best on Earth screen. We got the XX size. So there are some good aspects, but again, we've already had Street Fighter. Is this, I guess, the 5th one? And people are calling Media1Up Arcade1up 2 Electric Boogaloo. But I'm not going to say, I'm going to say this time, though, the second movie is better than the first one. Obviously, Breakin' was better than Breakin' 1 or 2. But look, let's go to pre-order. Then it sends us to a different website. And everything is free shipping into the cost. And again, the two different cabinets, Street Fighter 2 and Alpha. Can we go in here and get a closer look? So here we go. This is what we're looking at. And again, it is a sweet looking cabinet. And we can probably even zoom in a little bit. Getting there, maybe not. There we go. So look, let's take a real quick look. We got a nice marquee, which we like. We got the speakers underneath it. And then we got the bezel, which looks good. But I will admit, the Arcade1up bezel looked good for the World Fighters. Or I'm sorry, the Championship Edition. How they had all the characters all over the marquee, which I liked. We're probably going to get better controllers here, but we're not getting the official, what everybody wants. The Sana or the other brands, but there'll probably be an improvement for Arcade1up, but it should be for $700 on sale. We still got the light up coin slots, although they're nameless. I'm sure they'll put something there. Officially licensed. We got the yellow T-molding, although I guess it's real T-molding. I'm not really sure yet. So yeah, it looks sweet. It's an XXL, so it's a little bigger than the Arcade1up XL. We got all these games, Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition, Street Fighter 2 Hyper, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, no Street Fighter 2 Ozone. That was never released after the Breakin' movie, by the way. Street Fighter 2 Anniversary, but then the Alphas, that's where the new games come in, folks. Alpha 1, Alpha 2, Alpha 3. We actually got Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. Then we got Knights of the Round Table. 1944. I always liked 1942 and 43. So 44, that's a pretty cool addition. Final Fight, which again, we get on the Arcade1Up already. And then we got two other games, Pro Gear and Giga Wing. Never played that. So 14 games, just like the Arcade1Up. We got the sizes here. So depth 28 inches, the width 23. Then we go to the top at 67. So again, maybe like 1 to 2 inches bigger than the Arcade1Up XL. And then that would make it, 4 inches, 4 to 7 inches bigger than the Deluxe. But again, we're paying $300 more. Is it really worth it for very similar games? And I will give Michael B. the Genie, is it the Game Genie? Actually, that was for NES. But Michael B. made a good point that these aren't official cabinets that were like in the arcade. These graphics are stretched. Now, some people might like them. Some people might not. But I like how Arcade1Up actually had the official cabinets. Although the Championship Edition only had, small side artwork. So these look good stretched, but again, it's not how it is. Even the Mortal Kombat 2 Deluxe, which I own, I love the Raiden artwork, and it's just like the arcade. So again, that can be a pro or con for some people. They might want it exactly how they remembered it in the arcade, although the Alpha didn't really have an official cabinet, or at least Alpha 2 didn't. So let's check out the next one, folks. And this is the Alpha. And again, I've never played the Alphas in their arcade. They came out, I guess, in the mid to late 90s when the arcades were pretty much declining and going away. So I remember the original Street Fighter, which I forgot to mention, we don't even get the original Street Fighter still. And that's what I always wanted, because that's the actual arcade game. I remember going to Chamonix Mall and playing the original Street Fighter before there was Street Fighter 2, before there was Mortal Kombat. And they still don't include it. I don't get that, I'd rather have that than all the Alphas, to be honest with you. I'd rather go against Birdie and Mike and have those iconic backgrounds, but it is just not there. So we take a look at the Alpha. The artwork is nice, cartoonish. If you like that, again, I'm not thrilled about it. And then they kind of have the machine-looking control deck. But it is good. Again, stretched images. Half the people's faces are cut off. But the control deck looks kind of plain and basic, again, with the machine type looking, or I guess if you have a truck and you got that step, it looks like a truck thing there. And their marquee, not the marquee, the bezel is pretty plain. We got all the moves there, which is nice, but nothing to the left, nothing to the right. But maybe Johnny D will add that later. I don't know. He said he's 90% complete, but he wants people's feedback. So I do like that. Johnny was always down with the community like that. And then we're going to look where the coin doors are, and there's nothing else around there. Solid black, which I kind of do like. We don't need a whole bunch of logos all over like Arcade1Up, because that's not how it was in the arcade. So I do like that. We're checking out the different angles. And it is more spacious because it's wider, so we will have more room on that control deck for 2 players, which is good. And we do have that USB up front where we can add different controllers and whatnot, But again, not what I was hoping for. Another Street Fighter. All right, so let's check out the Arcade1Up Deluxe Street Fighter and do some comparisons. Okay, so we're going to go on the Arcade1Up website, the official website. And as you know, they had their big CES release today. Fast and the Furious is back in stock. So Arcade1Up is definitely back in the race, folks. It used to be in wrestling, the Monday Night Wars. Now it's the Home Arcade Wars. And this is their big reveal. Fast and the Furious is back in stock. I mean, they got to be joking. I don't know. Or maybe somehow they're going to release something by the end of the week. Or that's really just it. So let's put in Street Fighter in the search here, and we'll check it out. And I was surprised, actually, Street Fighter vs. Marvel isn't even in, the new iconic arcade machine, which is a little disappointing. Alright, so here we go. Here's the one that we know and love. I mean, this and the Mortal Kombat were great, you know, and it looks just like the arcade. Again, this is the deluxe, so it's going to be a little smaller, you know, but also $300 less, and you still got the speakers there to let up marquee. And again, I love that bezel with all the characters all around it. We got the true cabinet artwork on the side. You know, and I do like how they have the front there with the control deck, how it sticks out. You know, we got the fake coin door. Actually, that doesn't light up, I don't think. My Mortal Kombat doesn't, so that's actually a drawback now that I'm thinking about it. And we have any other images? Here's just more different side angles. And again, same BOE screens, except this is 17, and the Iconic will be 19, just like the XLs. Here's a dead on, so we can look at that nice, beautiful bezel with all the characters, which I love. Then we got the Warriors up top with Vega, Bison. I was going to say Mike, but it's not Mike, it's Balrog. And Vega, actually Sagat was first. So I do love that, you know, bezel, to tell you the truth, the graphics. So yeah, so we do have that. And actually they didn't add all the extra hoopla on the front, you know, like they did on the Marvel 97, for example. So that's not bad. And again, like every other month, this is on sale for $400. So it's $300 less than the Iconic, you know? And here's the games we get on the original, you know, Arcade1up Deluxe. The Champion Edition, the Hyper 2. So again, a lot of these are going to be the same. Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. But then we get into some pretty good different games that the Iconic doesn't have. Like Saturday Night Slam Masters, great wrestling game. Capcom Sports Club. I think that's the bowling game, if I'm correct. I'm not sure. Final Fight, which was on the other one. Armored Warriors. Captain Commando. That's actually a decent title that's not on the Iconic. The Giga Wing, which is another duplicate. Battle Circuit, which I'm actually not too familiar with. Pro Gear again. Strider. Strider is a classic Capcom game. Remember even playing that on Genesis a lot, and it was a great arcade game. You're not getting that on the Iconic. But again, you're getting all the alphas, if you played the alphas. Actually, for Sony PlayStation 2, I had Street Fighter EX Plus Alpha, which was actually a really good game, and apparently that's not anywhere to be seen on either of these arcade machines. So, you know, I was just disappointed, folks. You know, I was just hoping that we get something different, that we'd get 720, that we'd get maybe even Dragon's Lair, you know, full size with Space Ace, and finally Cliffhanger. Crossbow, you know, but those are the games I want. Some people want those. I mean, they actually made, you know, a 720 prototype for Arcade1up. So, Johnny, why don't you just finish that up and release it under your Media1Up? Get that license. You know, we're getting the same games rehashed. That was the problem with Arcade1up, and now you're going to pay $300 more. So, you do the math, folks. But hopefully you enjoyed my video. I do appreciate everybody watching it. The CES is always a fun time. You know, I like breaking news like this, and we might do some more news in the future. But please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now I'm getting all tongue-tied. It's like 5 in the morning. I would appreciate the subscriptions, the thumbs up, all that good stuff. And remember, make your day a retro day. That's what I always say.